What's up there, workforce? Chris here with Work to Game. Let me read this time off real quick. Wednesday, May 29th, 2019 at 6 a.m. PDT. That is when our embargo lifts. So if that is all you came here for, thank you for sticking around in this video. Now, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the embargo and a little bit about kind of as much as I can share around the event. So Brian and I were invited on the media tour. The media tour is basically where they go country to country to country, and they invite everything from like a gamer escape to a tiny little YouTube channel where two guys talk way too much about Final Fantasy, and everything in between. So a lot of your favorite streamers were able to be there. A fair number of your favorite kind of YouTubers or anything else. It shocked me when we were there how wide of a job they did. A good job of catching a pretty wide slew of people that were going to be at the event. So there was somebody there from the subreddit. There was like comic artists there. There were people from other countries, and that was just in the San Francisco one I was at. So I have no copy of the attendees, so I have no idea who was all at the other ones. I do know that as of the live letter, Yoshi P confirmed some things. I was listening very careful to what he talked about in the event, because anything he said, I'm allowed to talk about. So he did confirm that he gave 37 interviews. So with 37 interviews, there are a lot of questions and answers out there in space, and there was no creator at all 37. And so even if we wanted to, we couldn't share it all with you. So I myself am already looking forward to ideally somebody out there asking questions and things that Brian and I would not have the answers to. So I look forward to seeing what all the other creators and other outlets put out there. I know Brian and I will definitely be scouring the internet on the 29th for that. And historically, the way we've seen embargoes work is that a channel is told, hey, you can play this game in trade for respecting the way our marketing team wants to let the information out. They give you a time and a date, and they give you rules in a nice little packet of papers down here. It's all a little thing, and it's my little pamphlet it's all stapled together very neatly and nicely. And it basically says, here's what you're allowed to post. They were really generous. So very generous. They put on a great event. They were super generous with what they're basically allowing us to do. So we'll be able to kind of elaborate on that in the context of what we talk about. But they were really, really wonderful hosts, and they put on a great time. We were out in San Francisco. They posted to their I believe their Twitter, Instagram, one of the two. Final Fantasy posted a picture of the event, so we were the ones in like the dark gothic room with the computer stations kind of in these little hubs. The people that were out in London were in like this beautiful garden, so like they definitely picked venues that kind of paid homage to the expansion that we're stepping foot into. And so we were definitely got to feel like we were the Warriors of Darkness for a day. And so we were just out there for one day. And so it wasn't a horribly long trip. And we have a lot we want to share with you guys. Basically anything that was said in the live letter, I'm allowed to post on, but because of the nature of Brian and I running our mouth too long and elaborating and stuff like that, I think it's very hard to want to put together a really informative video and only stick to that information, for fear that if there was even a single fact that slipped out around any aspect of anything that was gone on in the live letter or otherwise, that we wouldn't be respecting the embargo. So they were really respectful to us, so we're going to respect them. That I really appreciate it, Square. And thank you so much for all the effort you give. I cannot imagine how exhausted the team is that put all this together. I know they were having technical difficulties with the live letter. It started like an hour late, and they were having some audio issues. But to be not in their home studio, they were operating out of San Francisco, so they were operating out of a hotel, which is typically like, oh, there's going to be somebody in their room, like streaming Netflix, to be hosting an event like this out of a hotel, you know, especially where the majority of a big chunk of your staff, English is not their first language. And you're trying to broadcast something out in a high quality to the whole world, where there was 50 some odd thousand people, 70,000 people watching at one point. Technical difficulties, I get it, I respect it. I felt really bad at that, but I think the live letter overall, I was really excited with everything they were able to share with you guys. So I encourage you to go look at that. I encourage you to go out to their YouTube channel and watch the big high quality res versions of everything they've chosen to share with us, because they did share a fair bit, and I assume a lot of that'll be pushed to YouTube. A lot of the little trailers and the job action video that they put up, and things like that, as well as the benchmark being live. And so the embargo overall is basically just them saying, hey, we want you to wait until Wednesday the 29th, and you can publish anything you want. Now, I will say, in the context of that, YouTube has a rough rule. They're not super open about the rules because I guess people would game them. But Philip DeFranco had talked about it at one point where there's a 4 and 48. And so like Brian and I push against it all the time because we post too much. So if you post 4 videos, if 4 videos go live within a 48-hour window, the 5th video will be suppressed. And what that means is the 5th video will not necessarily send out notifications whether or not you have the bell on, and so it makes things harder to kind of get discovered. But that's there to protect you from a channel spamming the crap out of you. So if you open up your feed, it's not just Brian and I's face all the way down. So I get it, but I am telling you that on the 29th, any of these channels that are posting stuff to YouTube, there's a very good chance that they're posting 4 or more videos, and they're all going to go live at once. Which means if they have reaction videos in there, if they have kind of thoughts and impressions videos in there, if they were able to get any information they want to pass on in there, anything that they feel is important to share with you that made a video, so just be sure that on the 29th you actually go out and actively check those, and kind of check them throughout the day and see what people are posting. I know that Brian and I will be out there scouring what everybody else has gotten. So we're very, very excited to see. We did get a chance to visit with some other creators that went, and it's interesting to see that they had a different experience than us. So I'm definitely excited to share that. So that's really it. This is more of a vlog style video. It's just me rambling into the screen. Brian went home and hung out with his kids. We had a long travel day back to sit in a 4-hour live stream. So I am posting this for you guys. I am going to go spend the weekend with my wife, and I look forward to kind of having all my videos uploaded for the 29th. Brian has some videos uploaded for the 29th. I believe we may have some collab videos that we'd like to make for the 29th. If not kind of surrounding that, as well as our normal content. You guys see that we've been posting twice a day, pretty much every day at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Time has been kind of our goal. We occasionally break it, but since April 22nd, I think we've only had like 1 or 2 posts not fall exactly there. Streams we don't count. Streams are just bonus on top of that. And then just as a side note to anybody still kind of sticking around in this video, I assume that means you watch a lot of our stuff, and so you are the one that I want to hear from on this. Brian and I have talked about, I think we're going to be making a move in June to 9-in-1. And then we've talked about around the launch time, so like early July and stuff, adding an additional post per day. So on days, having a 3rd time slot that can be popped up. And I kind of wondered if that was something that would interest you guys. I think we're leaning that direction, but we want to make sure we know that we would be clearly stepping over the 4 and 48 rule that I just explained to you guys. So we would be relying on that content to be highly searchable, to be discovered on YouTube, because it wouldn't get pushed to home pages and notifications automatically. But it's something that we think we may have to do because of the sheer number of videos that we want to put out around the expansion, because it will be time to refresh controller guides, introduction to class guides, introduction to role guides, beginner tip guides, around anything that changes, especially looking at all the changes that have already been announced. There's a lot of guides we held off on waiting to make because we knew that some of these changes are coming. We know that there's still more information coming at E3, and so we don't really want to make a bunch of guides that literally you're like, oh, this guide's only 3 months old, and it's horribly inaccurate. So we're trying to focus a lot on guides right now. That's why you see a lot of this 1 to 15 stuff, 15 to 30 stuff, introduction to stuff, because of the introduction to stuff isn't changing, but anything that affects anything even remotely in-game, we are not touching right now. And so I just kind of wondered what you guys thought about that at the end of this video here. So those of you that kind of stuck around this long, definitely let me know kind of what you would think about some additional content from us. And if that's something you're excited about, or if you feel we're kind of overdoing it as is, I totally respect your answer either way. And we kind of just want to poll the audience while we also kind of talk to each other about what each of our opinions are. And just looking at the content schedule and whether or not it's feasible to get it out within the time window we want, only posting twice a day. I know 60 posts a month is a lot of room, but we talk a lot, so it fills up quick. So my name is Chris with Work to Game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out your favorite creator on the 29th. Go check out all your favorite creators on the 29th. Go check out anywhere and everywhere. Final Fantasy news should be blowing up. So it should be a pretty quiet weekend because a fair number of creators and media outlets in the country, they have to keep their mouths shut. Keep an eye out for any that maybe didn't go to a media tour, because they should have some really interesting content this week that will kind of sub in for the fact that a lot of us didn't say anything. So I think Mione said that he didn't go to a media tour. So like, I always appreciate Mione's opinions, and I think he does really great content. So if you haven't been subscribed to Mione on YouTube, you should be, and go over there. I would love to see, I'm looking forward to seeing reactions from people that are allowed to post them. I know Brian and I were allowed to post them 2 years ago because we didn't go to the media tour, and it's a really great way to go discover somebody else if the person that you're used to going to, whether that's us or otherwise, has to keep their mouth shut. So thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Go subscribe to some new people. There's so many great new creators in this community, like Scott Zone, and there's so many established ones in this community that you got to try them all. And have a fantastic day. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. YouTube has a pretty cool video waiting for you over here. Our latest vlog is down below. For those of you new, subscribe is over here. And all of our other contact info is just right below me here. Thanks for watching.